Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in a community where there's no war? There's no famine, there's plenty of food, the weather is always the same, not hot, not cold. You don't even have to decide what you're going to be when you grow up because that's chosen for you. And at age 12, you are told what you're going to be and how you're going to better the community. I want to tell you about a book. It's called The Giver. It's by Lois Lowry. It's a Bantom book. And this book is about just such a world, just such a community. It goes through the life of a young man by the name of Jonas, several of his friends, two of which are Asher and Fiona. They're also 12. And Jonas has been chosen to become what is called a receiver of memory. And you think, a receiver of memory? What is that? Well, unlike us who can see color, we know pain, we see the war, in this community, they've never experienced any of that. The weather is always the same. They don't even see color, so they don't even know what red looks like. They have never experienced any kind of emotional pain. The only kind of pain maybe they've had is some kind of like a hurt finger or hurt toe. That's all. But there's this one elderly man called the Giver. And at one time, he was the receiver of memory. He's the only one who knows all of these types of things, and he has to impart them to Jonas. I want to tell you about him just a moment. Jonas, she said, speaking not to him alone, but to the entire community of which he was a part. You will be trained to be our next receiver of memory. We thank you for your childhood. Okay, his childhood's over, right? He's beginning his training. Then she turned and left the stage, left him there alone, standing and facing the crowd, which began spontaneously the collective murmur of his name. Jonas. It was a whisper at first, hushed, barely audible. Jonas, Jonas. Then louder, faster, Jonas, Jonas, Jonas. With the chant, Jonas knew the community was accepting him and his new role, giving him life, the way they had given it to the new child Caleb. His heart swelled with gratitude and pride. But at the same time, he was filled with fear. He did not know what his selection meant. He did not know what he was to become or what would become of him. I'd like to encourage you to read this book. Find out what happens to Jonas, because Jonas has to go through a whole lot, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at what you find.